Hello. Hello, yay.
Hey,
Episode
welcome
90.
everyone to episode 93 of the Geeky Ones podcast. Um, I'm Steven. Next to me is Jude. We are a podcast that talks about anything geeky under the sun. Now, if I could just fix my camera, I think we're good. Yeah. All right. So, on today's podcast, we will be talking about our
Mm-hmm.
favorite Halloween cartoons. So, it doesn't matter.
Cartoon
We have no
episode
ranking for this.
specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, cartoon.
All right. There's no ranking for this. We're just gonna go list whatever cartoons that we've enjoyed in our childhoods. There really is no basis for it. There really is like no basis or whatever. We're just listing down these things for fun because
Yeah.
it's October
Yeah,
and it's
essentially
almost Halloween.
it's really fun. And we realized that like almost every what do we say? Almost every cartoon we watched at least had one Halloween special or had at least an episode released during Halloween. So
That's right.
that's always interesting, and it's just a lot of fun that it's just a lot of fun finding it out. Like, oh,
Yeah.
like
And then sometimes, sorry, go
every
ahead.
now and then we forget. Every now and then I forget, like, oh wait, there's a Halloween episode for this, and
Hmm.
then it's just a lot of interesting stuff. You have like 10, right? We have 10
Yeah,
today,
we have
and
10. We have
we have
10.
10 from various cartoons during that time. So it's fun. Guess we have to start by going to the first one off the bat. Let's do this. Yeah. So the theme here, by the way, is Halloween themed episodes. So
Yeah,
it's usually most cartoons have a Halloween special. I think they still do it now. It's the same as like a Christmas special. And yeah, they really go all out for that one episode where they just go a bit creepy, a bit scary, and a bit fun at the same
that's
time.
true.
And the first show we're gonna talk about is Terrifying Tales of Recess, which is the episode of Recess. So Recess, what can we say about Recess, Steven?
It's where Ellie from The Last of Us came from.
Okay.
Yeah, the actress, I think it's what's her name? Ashley Johnson, Ashley Taylor Johnson. She
Mm-hmm.
is not Gretchen. I forgot the name of the redhead girl with the braces.
Yeah, but yeah, we're talking
It's
about Recess, and it's one of my
yeah,
favorite cartoons. Probably my favorite cartoons of that time because it's grade school, it's elementary, and
yeah.
you're in elementary too, and you're watching like how they get by elementary, while you try to get by elementary, and that
That's
was
true.
for me the most relatable thing. And the main cast of characters are just really fun, and just yeah, they're just so enjoyable. They're really cool, and very cool and stuff. And like it's a bunch of adventures and misadventures in school. And yeah, I never got tired of it. And then I remember there was even a Recess movie.
Yes, yes, there was. That
Yeah,
was
the
fun.
Recess movie, which I like. But we're talking about Terrifying Tales of Recess. So this is the October 31st episode back in 2001. So it's almost 20
Wow.
years since this episode. That's
It's a
pretty
20 year,
nice.
it's almost 20 years anniversary now.
Yeah. So the story, it's kind of like an anthology. So there's like three different stories. So there's Children of the Corn Chip,
Mhm.
When Bikes Attack, and The Night of the Living Finsters. So let's go with Children of the Corn Chip. Children of the Corn Chip um is about a chip, an untested new chip,
Oh my
corn
gosh.
chip. So yeah, what could possibly go wrong? And now the thing was that corn chip, which was eaten by the corn chip girl, yeah, that's what they called her, is actually very, very, very tasty. And it's disturbingly tasty, and yeah, but what? But the story deepens when they find out where did that chip come from, and the chip came from a European town, and you know, eventually the chips got smuggled into the school,
The
into the
fuck?
school. So
The
yeah,
fuck?
got smuggled into the school from that European town, and eventually that corn chip girl who ate that chip is now a werewolf, and Gus, who Gus is
Yeah, we know, guys.
the kiss ass student in
Yeah.
recess. He's the Sherlock Holmes of this story,
Mm.
and helps the girl, corn chip girl, return back to normal, which is kind of cool. By the way, corn chip girl is yeah, corn chip girl is a Swiss American student, by the way. So yeah, that's a Swiss town, and yeah, this is the name of the school. I can remember. Third Street School.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
generic
it's
name.
fun. Now, yeah, that's essentially the story. It's a werewolf story with chips in it. So that's interesting. When bikes attack now is Mikey. Mikey cleans his bike, enjoys it, right? The usual bike stuff. You enjoy
Yeah.
bike cycling, but eventually, his bike named Pegasus, it doesn't wanna. It doesn't wanna, it's having problems because you're leaving it outdoors. It's risky, and then a thunderstorm happens, and he has to leave Pegasus, his bike Pegasus, and now it was struck by lightning, and Principal Prickly got knocked down by Pegasus after it got struck by lightning, and then they discover that Pegasus, hit by the lightning, is actually alive somehow and attacks
Oh
the
my
recess
god.
gang. And yeah, and just as Pegasus attacks them, they're rescued by the school bus, which has no driver. So it's a sentient school bus versus
Oh my
a
god.
sentient bicycle. So yeah, it was a basically the moral of the story is treat your bikes with respect, which is actually a nice lesson. Never leave them out of the rain. Yeah, because you don't want your bikes rusting up, which is gonna suck. That's actually really cool.
It's really,
And the
really
last
cool.
one, Night of the Living Finsters. Um okay, so Gus has a tank, a toy tank, and it was confiscated by Finster before he could return it to his friend Milton. And eventually the Diggers, remember the Diggers?
Yes, I remember them. They were fun.
They were fun. Oh my god, I remember their gear. Okay. So yeah, and they dare Vince to spend the night in the said hole. And Vince accepts, does it there. And the entire gang joined in, and and then they find out that the Finster's graveyard, the legendary graveyard, is real. And then, you know, Finster's past, like her past ancestors emerge from the dead and gang up them. Finster
Oh my
zombies. So
gosh.
it's a zombie story, essentially. You know, they last through the night, they survive through the night, and they get attacked by zombies, but yeah, they survive. But did they really get attacked? So that's like the ambiguous ending there.
Mm.
Was it just some Halloween nightmare, or did it actually happen? It was a real
Yeah.
haunting. But yeah, recess is fun like this. Like it's kids' imagination. It's all wholesome. It's really fun. It's just relatable elementary things, and that's why it's great. And they have a Halloween episode that's also like this crazy. So that's really
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, that's my entry there.
All right. So next one is a recess Halloween from Recess taking the fifth grade, which was I think it was a direct to DVD movie because we already had the big Recess movie, which was a theme of like this government supposedly ruining summer, so kids would have to go to school every day.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
You remember that, right? And then taking the fifth grade as a
Project Ruckus.
And then recess taking the fifth grade is again similar to the TV show the Halloween episode, which was an anthology episode, except in this case taking the fifth grade was an anthology of the characters slowly transitioning to grade 5 or fifth grade as other countries would call it. Tapos yung isang story was a recess Halloween, which talked about Ashley Spinelli, you know, the tough girl, Ashley Spinelli, voiced by Emmy Award winner. Oh gosh, I always forget her name, but man, her voice is so iconic. She's an Emmy Award winner now, if I recall. Pamela Adlon. So Pam Adlon is a Emmy winner, if I recall correctly, for a can't remember the live action show, but she is the voice of Bobby Hill and oh man, so many.
Bobby Hill, man.
Sorry.
Bobby Hill, King of the Hill, Bobby Hill. Yeah,
Yes, it's her. It's her.
the best.
She won an Emmy for outstanding voiceover as Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. And that's crazy. Yeah, but she's also in a bunch of other TV shows on air right now. So she has transitioned from voiceover to live action. But anyway, the character of Ashley Spinelli was saying that, oh, I'm getting too old for Halloween. Like, I feel like I should just stay at home, read comics and whatever. But she realizes that these kids are having fun. And then she realizes that maybe you're never too old for Halloween. And I feel like that's something that a lot of kids should always remember, that you're not too old for Halloween. Like they had like ang ganda kasi ng plot is that her friends TJ and the gang convinced their teachers to like bring them to this supposedly haunted house that wasn't actually haunted, and then turned into like a horror experience, and it really revived Spinelli's enthusiasm for Halloween, which was fun. So sobrang standalone story niya, but it's a nice little break from the usual recess story na
But
mas
yeah,
grand, 'di ba?
character centric episodes for Recess are really cool.
Yeah,
Like,
'di ba? And then this one was for the TV movie, so it was a bit different, pero enjoyable pa rin siya. Speaking of comic books, we do have a Amazon $10 gift card giveaway that is not sponsored by Amazon. So help us reach 1,000 likes on Facebook, and we will give one gift card there. And help us reach 100 followers on Twitch. On Facebook, we are currently at 930 plus. We're very close, only like 60 plus more likes before we finally give away the gift card on Facebook. And then we will do another giveaway on Twitch once we reach 100 followers. We are already at 50 followers. So we're going to give you a bit of a tease. I do have an extra comic lying around at home with a digital code that has yet to be opened. So this one's just for one comic. But if you help us get to 1,000 likes on Facebook, you're going to be able to choose whatever comic you want. We will be giving away a code for. Well, I have to check, but it's a Marvel comic, so don't worry. It's a Marvel comic. I'll be giving away a digital code for a Marvel comic that you guys will be able to enjoy once we reach 950 likes on Facebook. I will also be giving away something else on Twitch. Anyway, help us get to 1,000 likes on Facebook and 100 followers on Twitch. Now, next up is Courage the Cowardly Dog, Jude. This is to episode 14A and B. Tell us more about these episodes. What
okay,
exactly were
so
they
yeah,
about?
season two of Courage the Cowardly Dog. They debuted on its debut on October 31, 2000. And it's all about, and it had two episodes. I mean, the usual Courage formula. It had every every new episode is two, especially split in half. So first, it's two episodes. So the first one is the Magic Tree of Nowhere. The second is Robot Randy. So Robot Randy, also a possible wrestler name, by the way. That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, so what happened in the Magic Tree of Nowhere? All of a sudden, Courage grows a magic tree with a packet of seeds, and they were surprised because there hasn't nothing has grown properly in their area for like 50 years. So like seeing this tree, oh wow, it's really cool. It's really cool. And the seeds destroy Courage's sandcastle. But still, when he was planting the seeds, a random rain cloud on top of that seed bed went, it like just splashed water on it and it just grew. So eventually that tree, when like what happened is when you give wishes, it grants them. It grants wishes. Like they had a busted oven and they wished for a new oven, they suddenly got it from the magic tree. Okay. So far so good, right? And then, Courage has a broken toy construction vehicle. He asked for a new one and then he wished for an actual one, a real life one. So yeah, that's great. But yeah.
Is that the second story now, or
No, 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 no.
two
But
stories,
yeah.
right?
The thing was, yeah, eventually the tree, they Eustace hates the tree. He tries to ram it and
Yeah.
let's say things just go bad because Muriel now has a case of bolly, which is like her head is now getting bigger and bigger,
Mm,
and it's up to Courage to now try to help the tree or say help and speak to the tree. The tree spoke to him and yeah, well, the tree would provide a cure within 3 days. But yeah,
nice.
you know, Eustace is determined to just take down this tree, and eventually, Courage had to block him. Courage showdown with with the with another obstacle, with another opponent. So yeah,
So was this a two-parter?
yeah. Well,
Ah,
anyway,
kaya pala. All right, all right.
no, 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 no. It's not. It's Robot Randy. The episode is just lengthy. Like Courage episodes are really detailed in their way. But yeah, Eustace has chopped the tree eventually, and
Yeah.
the tree starts crying, but the tree comes back to life and
The fuck.
you know gives the cure, which is made out of the from its branches, and Muriel is saved, and Courage saves the day as usual. And now, in the end, Eustace has the engorged growing head. So that was the plot twist there. Like, good luck on that. Now for
Nice.
Robot Randy is a bit funny because Robot Randy, the episode is all about this robot from another world,
Mm.
Randy. Yeah, imagine, diba? Randy, which is he's from a planet with robots as the main population. So he takes over the bag farm. Muriel, Eustace, and Courage, and he turns them into slaves. And his goal is to like oppress and just make their lives miserable. Make a new set a new territory. But then they realize that Robot Randy is just doing this because he doesn't want to be seen as a failure when he goes back to his own planet. So like no.
Aw, that's so
So yeah,
sad.
eventually, you know, Courage had to do his little saving there, and yeah, and eventually Randy he gets the ire of Randy. He gets Randy mad by destroying one of his statues. But Courage went into a dance off, and if Courage wins, Randy will leave. Courage loses, Randy would kill all of them.
What the fuck?
So yeah, Randy eventually loses, and Randy hates himself because he failed to conquer a world. But eventually, he takes solace that he's a good wood carver and he's a master at creating reindeer carvings, which is nice. He
Hmm.
returns to his home planet and he became very popular because those reindeer carvings are actually the ones that gave him success, and he's not a failure, and they congratulate him. And yeah,
All right.
Crazy ass episode. But yeah, Courage is always known for these weird outlandish ones. And yeah, this one's pretty underrated. I think I remember the tree more than Robot Randy.
All right.
There,
Cool. Cool.
there are times that one episode is always more memorable than the first, and this is the case.
Hmm. All
Usually, it's the
right.
second one that gets me. But yeah, our next entry now.
All right. Our next entry is the Honking from Futurama. Supposedly the only Halloween episode that Futurama ever made, because I think the biggest problem of challenge of Futurama was that they were always getting canceled by Fox or Comedy Central or something. So they never had the time to establish a proper Halloween episode. So this one episode, The Honking, is about Bender Bending Rodriguez, voiced by John DiMaggio, aka Jake the Dog, aka who's that? Who's Shigo's boss in Kim Possible?
Dr. Draken.
Dr. Draken is also voiced by John DiMaggio. He's also the Joker from the Red Hood cartoon movie. So many characters to list. There's just too many. Basta he's Jake the Dog and Bender Bending Rodriguez. So in the plot of this episode, Bender's great uncle has passed away and is gonna give this mansion as his inheritance.
Mhm.
But the problem is Bender has to spend one night in this haunted mansion, and however he's scared to stay in the mansion. And then over time he becomes like a you know how there's always a lot of horror movies start off like with this guy entering a room and then like he transform like gets bitten or something like that,
Yeah.
transformed and then transforms into a vampire. In the case of Bender and the Honking, he is run over by a steamroller
Oh crap. Okay.
or something like that. But he supposedly natakot siya sa isang parang regular. I don't know if it was a steamroller or a car. Basta na Basta natakot siya sa kotse kasi he's a robot, 'di ba? So parang it's like,
Mhm.
an older like a
Machine versus
demon.
machine. Yeah.
Machine versus machine, exactly.
Ancient
Tapos
machine. Yeah.
yeah.
Scaring the hell out of Bender.
Yeah,
Weird
exactly.
enough.
As in sobrang it's so clever, honestly. The episode is so clever kasi there's this one moment where they put binary code in the episode. Like it's 11010101 or something like that. And then turns out in binary code, you just switch a few digits, a few ones and zeros. You switch it up, and then it turns
Yeah, you get
to
a
a
set of
different.
letters and you get the entire message eventually. So
Yes,
that's the
exactly,
best part.
exactly. A totally different message. So, yun yung nangyayari sa show. Sobrang clever niya. I didn't get it at first kasi ako, I honestly have
I
barely
think
any
yeah,
understanding of
those
binary
those
code.
usually go way over our heads before, and
Yes.
then we realize like uh years later or sometime later, and holy crap! Oh, this is actually funny.
'Di
Yeah.
ba? Ang weird. Like, sobrang crazy. Like, I don't even know how to describe it because you really have to watch it. In terms of Futurama, it's one of their funniest episodes for me personally.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's about it for the honking.
Oh yeah,
Speaking
let's
of
take a look at the
digital
comics.
stuff.
Comments first.
Oh
Comics.
yeah,
What?
sure, sure. Oh, okay. Who is
Oh,
it?
yeah, Abel says happy Halloween. So yeah, hello Abel, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the
Nice, nice.
podcast. And Carl Lorenzo said, watch Stephen King's Christine Brothers. Hanap yung chills. Whoa, Christine Brothers. Let's see. Or Christine Bros. Wait. This. I mean, I'm familiar with Stephen King, but this is a new
Mhm.
work. Happy Halloween. Yeah, happy Halloween to you
Happy
too.
Halloween.
So yeah, I mean, we're like a few weeks away, 2 more weeks.
That's true.
So, Christine. Oh, Christine by Stephen King. A horror novel. Now, I need to check it. No. Oh, just Christine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Stephen King. Uh, oh, it's a movie. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, no. Wait. Oh,
Perfect for
God.
Halloween.
Okay. It's yeah, this is a scary hell car, I think. So yeah,
Mm.
Kinda. I think this is a good reference to the Bender episode, the honking.
The honking.
But
There's
yeah,
almost
cult
like
classic.
it's almost like The Shining if you think about it. No, yung parang you have to spend the night in the hotel or something, parang ganun. Except
Yeah, I
slightly
think it's
different.
a culmination of Stephen King references there. Like a nice
Yeah,
little shout out to his work. That's really
yeah,
cool. But yeah, I guess we go to our next one.
yeah.
And
All
it's
right. So
really
before we
fun.
continue, since we are talking about digital things, how about online purchases from Shopee? Use our link podlink.co/o2k and you can help keep our podcast running.
Mm-hmm.
You can get vouchers on Shopee, and by using our link, you will be helping keep our podcast running. So do check out with the link podlink.co/o2k and help keep the Geeky Ones running. We earn a small commission from each sale made through this link. All right, now Jude, continuing the
Mm-hmm.
horror stories is Dexter's Lab. Tell us more about Trick or Treehouse.
Oh, Trick or Treehouse. Okay. Now, Trick or Treehouse is the usual Dexter's Lab. I mean, it's not a Halloween. It didn't air on Halloween, so that's kind of weird. It's a March episode, and yeah, the thing is, Dexter and Dee Dee. Dee Dee. Dexter doesn't want Dee Dee to get in the lab always, right? Like Dexter's always just blocking Dee Dee's way, but Dee Dee somehow finds a way and blows stuff up and probably ruins a few experiments. So then, much to Dee Dee's frustration, Dexter gets to protective of his lab, and eventually, Dee Dee creates her own treehouse, which Dexter is not invited to. The catch is everyone is
Oh.
invited except for Dexter. So the tables have turned on this one, and Dexter tries to check what's happening there. Dexter sees Mimi and Lily with Dee Dee in their secret place, and then their mom goes to give them pie, and then his dad goes to like listens to radio chilling there, and then Dexter's kind of heartbroken about that because they were supposed to be like bonding together.
Hmm.
But yeah, so Dexter's annoyed by this new place, and to find a way to sneak in, he disguises himself as a woodpecker.
What the fuck?
Dexter gadget time. So this is like a part of his
Uh,
lab gadget. So this is his lab gadget, and he sees the treehouse. He heads inside, and then he open a lever, and eventually he gets trapped by a bread box, which Dee Dee set up. Dee Dee set up with enough defenses, and
oh my gosh.
eventually Dee Dee trapped Yeah, Dee Dee trapped Dexter, and then Dee Dee proceeds to just go to town on Dexter's lab for invading Dee Dee's private space. So, boom.
Grabe. All right. And then
Yeah, so that was really fun. I mean, it wasn't entirely Halloween, but it was a funny trick or treat house. This was well, the creepy part is probably Dexter turning into woodpecker. So that was weird.
so weird.
And the horror Dexter might have seen or and experienced by seeing his lab get ruined again. So that's the horror right there. But
All
yeah,
right.
that's my take. That's my entry there. That's really fun.
Nice. All right. So the next entry is from The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror 11, aka one of the again, it's another one of those anthology series. So for those unfamiliar, the Treehouse of Horror episodes are always
It's kind
non-chill.
of
It
like
doesn't
a
really.
Twilight Zone special. It's kind of like their Twilight
Yes,
Zone.
exactly. Twilight Zone. Parang ganun. Parang Twilight Zone special.
Yeah, now
Tapos
I'm checking how many Treehouse of Horror episodes have they done. They have
22,
done.
20
They
something,
have
30
they're
na.
they're on their 33rd soon.
Yeah. It's
No,
happening
next
this
year.
month, I think.
This year
Sorry?
is their this year they just did their 32nd, so that's actually
Grabe, no?
really cool. I mean, The
Crazy.
Simpsons is a long runner, and eventually, people are. It's one of those shows that tends to get, people get season fatigue now, series
Hmm.
fatigue, because it's been
Exactly,
around for
exactly.
like 3 decades. But still, they're pretty consistent with their Treehouse of Horror, and they love referencing new and old movies. They
Yes.
usually do current movies, right, of that time. So
Depende, depende. Like this
yeah,
episode, the Day of the Dolphin is like not the Shining. The Birds, the Birds.
uh-huh.
Um, so in Alfred Hitchcock's classic movie, The Birds, birds will basically seeking revenge on people, if I understand correctly. But in this case, the Day of the Dolphin is about Lisa Simpson feeling so bad for dolphins. She's saying, "No, oh, we have to set these dolphins free in the
Dolphins
wild
Free. Oh
because
my god, I think I've seen this one.
yes, it's gonna be familiar, diba?" And then
Hmm.
the more I tell you the story, I think you'll know what happens next. So at some
Just
point,
keep going.
Lisa sneaks into the aquarium and sets one of these dolphins free. The dolphin, turns out, is a superior being to humans and creates a civil war between dolphins and humans.
Well,
And
Lisa unknowingly created an armed struggle between man and beast, so that's really cool.
exactly, exactly. But hey, dolphins are mammals. Don't forget that. That was
Yeah,
uh, um, a civil war happens, and the humans lose.
this
The
is
humans
fantasy,
lose.
but
Sorry.
free will. But
Yeah,
this is
like reverse free
fantasy.
willy. That
Yeah,
was what happens was the humans have to learn how to cope living in the water, like how the dolphins were for the longest time. So basically, they switched places, and it was the most honestly one of the most memorable episodes of The Simpsons I saw in Star World. R.I.P. Star World because of Disney Plus Philippines coming soon. Um,
mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just such a fun, chaotic episode because it made fun of Alfred Hitchcock. It made fun of Lisa being so. It made fun of, I guess you could say, the extreme. You know how in politics sometimes there are like those who take things to the extreme. Like I
Yeah.
guess this would be like a parody of mga environmentalists and like animal rights people, and then parang backfire. Anyway,
Yeah,
yun
this is
lang.
like a poorly strategized plan to save animals, and it has gone wrong. And
Yep.
looking at Treehouse of Horror episodes from their most recent one to the back, yeah, they really do parody movies almost every time. So like they had the Spider Verse one into the Homer verse. They have Barty, which is like Bambi, and then oh wow, I would like to see this. They had the Simpsons parody of of Parasite, which I recently
What
watched.
they did?
Yeah,
Wow.
which is this year's edition of Treehouse of
Okay,
Horror.
I'll have to
That's
check
really
that out
interesting.
soon.
Yeah, and they have let's see, Geriatric Park, which is oh my god. Well, you know what the reference is
Yeah,
there.
yeah. We all know what that is.
The
Grandpa Simpson, probably.
Exorcist. This is probably Dry Hard, which is Hunger Games and Mad Max Fury Road fused together. Yeah,
Uh,
Homerzilla. Well, that's very straightforward.
or the King Kong
Back to
parody.
the which one? No, Homerzilla is Godzilla.
Ah,
No,
okay. There's a King Kong
War and
parody.
Peace.
I remember.
I think there was. There's a Twilight one, of course.
Of course, there has to be a
The,
Twilight parody.
that Simpsons. Oh, Untitled Robot Parody. I think I watched this. I remember
Mm.
like Lisa's Malibu Stacy toys transforming into like I don't know if it's Autobots or
Transformers.
Decepticons. And then her Malibu Stacy pink car sat there all fabulous, and then the voice is like Melody. But yeah, freaking Decepticon right there. Of course, there's an ET parody. There's AI. artificial intelligence.
There's so many to list down.
Harry Potter Space Odyssey. Yeah, it's so
Everything,
this
man.
Treehouse of
Everything.
Horror is fun.
Yeah.
Usually, because the thing is, it deviates from the usual formula, and sometimes the usual formula of The Simpsons tends to go flat. You know, there are some episodes that just feels, oh yeah, this Simpsons kasi is very formulaic
Yeah, it
for a long
is.
time now, but it's still it still nails jokes every now and then. And I just recently watched their Balenciaga collaboration, which is so
Oh yeah,
weird,
I love that. I love
but
that.
still very Simpsons. Like they kept the brand. They promoted the brand while keeping true to keeping the essence of the show there.
Yeah.
Like the Balenciaga had to adjust, not the Simpsons. But
That's
yeah, it was
true.
fun.
That's true.
Treehouse of Horror is always fun, and yeah, every year, like I think binging Treehouse of Horror episodes during Halloween is a fun thing to do.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
hopefully once Disney Plus Philippines launches, which we hope is very soon because unlike Hong Kong, Korea, and Taiwan, Disney Plus Philippines does not have a official launch date yet. So we have to wait and see.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I think it would be just within the year. So yeah, or
all
a nice
right.
little Christmas treat. So that's gonna
Yeah,
be really interesting.
that's true. And then for a little bit of discussion about our podcast, we get our podcast statistics through Podmetrics, and that's also how we earn a little bit of money on the side if if it pops up. We use podmetrics.co to help keep track of our podcast statistics. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you sign up for a podmetrics.co account and make a podcast yourself, please use our code GEEKYJUANS at registration, and we get a small commission for each successful sign up. Now, moving on to another Disney property
Yeah,
is
let's
Jude's
go.
selection of
Oh yeah, okay,
Winnie the
Winnie the
Pooh.
Pooh. Now, to be fair, I think I would have wanted another a Winnie the Pooh movie. Like I think Winnie the Pooh's Grand Adventure, where they search for Christopher Robin inside like a cave, a very scary cave, in a cave called Skull. Which in the end they misread. It was school. Like the reason they couldn't find Christopher Robin is he was enrolled in school. It was school year, so they were worried, sick. They were worried, scared of what happened to Christopher Robin. But eventually he came back, and it was like an entire talk about like, hey, so this is school, and I'm growing up, which is like a very nice part of We the Pooh. You know, it's like keeping. It's like the innocence of childhood. Yet growing up is always a part of that. But yeah, Boo to You Too is let me I forgot what day or when was this done? But hey, let's try. Boo to You Too is like a special. It's one of those Winnie the Pooh movie specials, like TV movie specials,
Oh, that's
straight to
nice.
VHS, straight to DVD. And oh wow, worth noting that the animation production of this, it was produced by by Disney, of course, but
Hmm.
it was much of the animation is made by Toon City in Manila and Taiwan Film Productions in Bangkok. So this is a Southeast Asian,
Nice.
just cool. And eventually, every now and then, Toon City is a very constant Disney collaborator here. I mean, we have a lot of talented artists, animators, and we have a lot of great talent that go international every now and then. Whether it be movies, games, or TV shows and cartoons. So yeah, comics especially. But yeah, Boot of You 2 is all about Winnie the Pooh and friends trick or treating. And
Oh, that's
This is
nice.
Piglet's first Halloween because Piglet has never done trick
Oh,
or
that's
treating.
nice.
And because Piglet has always been scared of Halloween, Piglet is a scaredy little fellow.
Hmm.
So after that, they had to. It's basically Piglet conquering his
No,
fears,
that's a
and
very important thing. Yeah.
he preps for trick or treating, and Pooh tries to get like honey from a beehive that fails. What happens? When
In every Winnie the
Pooh
Pooh.
fails a beehive binge, he gets chased by the bees. They had to go to Rabbit, and eventually Rabbit did not like it because it kind of wrecked his garden. And Rabbit's constant control, constant control, being a controlling figure, and he just wants his yard to be nice, his garden to be nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, that did not like that. But yeah, um, eventually, Pooh, Eeyore, and Tigger, they decide to just avoid create a more a less scary Halloween party for Piglet, the Hollow wasn't party. And then this
Ah.
backfires because they had costumes, and when they went to visit Piglet to pick him up for the party, Piglet thought they were monsters. So
Oh, so
eventually they try.
precious.
This ends up to a search that where they look for Piglet, which they were scared because he might have been taken by spookables. So yeah,
Oh.
eventually they make their way to like a stormy night to find Piglet. But eventually they get scared as well. But then when Pooh was like in trouble, Piglet goes brave and attacks the spookables, quote unquote, spookables that are attacking
Ah,
Pooh, and rescues him.
that's nice,
And
man. So precious.
eventually it was just a mannequin, but Piglet conquered his fears, and they go trick or treating. Wholesome episode. I like Winnie the Pooh like this. This is it's just their adventures of what they're doing, and it also includes non-book canon Gopher. I always remember that Winnie the Pooh roasted Gopher to the narrator. Like when Gopher introduced himself to Pooh, when
Hmm.
after that introduction sequence was done and Gopher left, Winnie the Pooh just talked to the narrator and said, "He's not in the book."
Gago.
But yeah, Winnie the Pooh is always a fun story, and we lest we forget there was a Heffalump movie, which is actually adorable.
No, that's a Heffalump movie.
I'm just happy that Heffalumps are canon.
Oh,
They
that's
made sure,
true.
like
Are Heffalumps in Kingdom Hearts?
Winnie the
No.
Pooh lore is deep. What?
Yeah. Are the Heffalumps in Kingdom Hearts or no?
I'm not sure. I think King the 100 Acre Wood in Kingdom Hearts was introduced before the Heffalump movie was introduced.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, that's worth noting there. It's a little fun fact. Kingdom Hearts was 2002. The Heffalump movie was 2005. But yeah, Winnie the Pooh Halloween specials, their scary misadventures are always cool. Like, they try, it's really mysterious, and like, it's Piglet conquering his fears usually.
Nice,
And
nice.
Eeyore getting scared. Seeing Eeyore
Oh.
react to, apart from being happy or just really sad all day is,
Hmm.
a sight to behold. But yeah, that's Winnie the Pooh.
All right. So for my next selection, it is a very iconic SpongeBob SquarePants episode called Scaredy Pants. Now, the plot of Scaredy Pants is very basic. SpongeBob wants to appear in the Krusty Krab Halloween party, to impress the kids and have the scariest costume in the party. Pero he decides to go with a ghost costume, which turns out to be not very impressive. So, in a plot twist, it's SpongeBob decides to supposedly shave his hair off, or his entirety,
Like a
and
sponge. Yeah.
the entire sponge shape of his body is gone, except for his skeleton. So again, this is a cartoon. We don't care about logic. Sponges don't have spines. But ayun, I think the Flying Dutch, parang SpongeBob pretended to be the Flying Dutchman or something, pero sobrang palpak daw kasi he just looked like your ordinary ghost until natakot si Patrick, di ba? Tapos natanggal yung parang cloak ni SpongeBob. And turns out it's just his skeleton and everybody got scared. Even the Flying Dutchman himself got scared. And this was, I think, my introduction to the character of who the Flying Dutchman was. And it was such a fun Flying Dutchman kasi in mythology, the Flying Dutchman is so different from the Flying Dutchman that we know in SpongeBob. It's totally different. Pero sobrang saya ng character. As in, I guess I could also add another Flying Dutchman episode.
Yeah, go.
Yung ano, yung what was that? What was that? Yung hinire ni Flying Dutchman si SpongeBob and Patrick to be his
Be
minion.
scary.
Huh?
Well, they hired him. He hired them to be like scary, right? Like monsters.
Yes! Yung
Oh
parang,
my god.
yung isang sobrang memorable yung you're good, you're good, you're good. Pero sirang-sira na yung ship ni Flying Dutchman paglabas. Tapos yung yung it's so many moments from that episode. Yung mga Lily.
And you
Ah!
know,
And then
they just
they just
really
kept doing these things that would just annoy the Flying Dutchman to the point na sobrang hindi na kaya. Tapos, ano ba nangyari? Naging slave niya for eternity or something. Is this the same
yeah,
episode?
he did.
Wait lang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. I think was Mr. Krabs there to rescue them somehow? I can't remember.
No, 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 no. That was different.
Oh
That was
no, that was
different.
a different one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, I remember the episode now. Shanghai. Tapos, yung they could escape, pero they couldn't escape kasi the only way out was through the most out of nowhere addition to the Flying Dutchman. Turns out the Flying Dutchman has a perfume section in his ship.
Oh god.
And in typical SpongeBob's fourth wall breaking form, you got these human hands
Spraying perfume at
like
them.
spraying SpongeBob and Patrick with perfume. Tapos meron yung mask. Yung hazmat mask na siguro si Patrick. Tapos ni-pull pa rin ng human hand yung mask. Tapos
Oh
si-spray si
god, yeah,
Patrick.
I remember that part
You
was
remember this, di ba?
iconic. Yeah, that was fun.
Sobrang grabe. As in, sobrang... It's so stupid, but you know it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's so stupid that you know it's stupid and you just accept it for being stupid. Na talagang mawawala na yung... You turn on your suspension of disbelief na lang. Just accept it as is na may perfume section si Flying Dutchman sa ship niya. And it was just... It was insane. Anytime the Flying Dutchman appears, sobrang saya ng SpongeBob episodes. Speaking of Nickelodeon, by the way, another Nickelodeon series for Jude is Rugrats, and this is
Oh
another
yeah.
anthology. All right, Jude, I leave this to you.
Okay. So the Rugrats, it's three different episodes, but hey, let's go with the flow. Yeah, it's three different episodes that are like the scary parts. You know, Rugrats is always about the adventures and misadventures of Tommy, Pickles, and the gang. You know, Chucky, Phil, Lil, Angelica, and eventually Susie and Kimmy. They get them right.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Kimmy
that's
is Chucky's sister, I think. Tama ba?
mm-hmm.
Susie
Yep.
is
Their new friend. Yeah, eventually.
Angelica's friend. Yeah, Angelica's best friend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
Susie
introduced
Carmichael.
to. Yeah, she was introduced to the crew eventually. But yeah, um, you know, with all their adventures, it was inevitable that they would have a couple of Halloween themed ones, or spooky ones. So one is like the Candy Bar Creep Show. Okay, so the Pickles set up their house for Halloween. They turned it haunted, and Angelica, it's a haunted house with reptar bars. And you know, Angelica being the schemer that she wants, being ambitious, she wants all those reptar bars for herself.
Oh, of course, of course.
And the Rugrats now have to scare off Angelica eventually. And yeah. So yeah, the thing is, they wanted to get those Reptar bars. I bet they're really tasty. I wonder how they taste though. Like Reptar bars, Reptar is like the most over thing for them as children, as babies.
That is
Reptar is
true.
like, I don't know, American Godzilla at this point.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, come on, that video game. Remember that original Rugrats video game from the PS1? I mean, that's
Oh yeah,
iconic right there.
but yeah, um, eventually the Reptar bars go to like well, they'll go to some like weird monsters, and Angelica just cries and throws a tantrum, and because she wants her Reptar bars back, and then
That's so nice. And
yeah, it
then
was a
what
trick or
about
treat.
Ghost Story Curse of the Werewolf? Sorry.
Okay, now Ghost Story is about on a dark and stormy night. Rugrats gather in Angelica's room around the battery-powered campfire. Wow, that's adorable. And they begin making up a scary story. They all take turns telling. So yeah, and Angelica was so disappointed that the babies were making scary story. Scary. Their
Aww.
stories were scary enough. Um, Angelica tries to take control of the entire story, and they went into an attic in a haunted house where they meet up with the cast of Our Real Monsters. Which ends up with
Uh,
Angelica getting scared more than anything else. But yeah,
oh man.
I love these things when Nickelodeon tends to do a like inter series thing. They're more common to do that, and it's justified because the writers are pretty much similar, right? They're sometimes
Klasky
it's the
Chupo,
same
yeah.
writing
The
team,
Klasky Chupo
same
production house.
studio.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's just do this. Like Rugrats and Wild Thornberries, the Rugrats Go Wild was really fun. I watched that on cinema back
Yeah.
then. But yeah, this is really cool. So yeah, Ghost Story. Happy to see the Our Real Monsters guys go and scare Angelica. And yeah, imagine the monsters are really adorable in Our Real Monsters. That's their
Si
struggle, right? To be
Ikis,
scary enough.
Oblina, and Krong.
To be fair, Our Real Monsters was the OG. Was like OG Monsters Inc. in some way.
Yes! Yes! Oh my
Yeah,
god, you're right!
scare scare by profession. Scaring
Yes,
is a
yes,
profession
yes. Oh my god.
on that. But yeah, then again, let's go to Curse of the Werewolf.
Yeah.
It sounds so adorable to say it, werewolf.
Hmm.
But yeah, so this is a Halloween special. The Rugrats, without Angelica, they go trick and treating in a local amusement park for the very first time. Um, Everyone except Chucky, though, is
Aw,
excited.
Chucky.
Chucky is, Chucky gets scared and worried,
Yeah.
and then Angelica, being despite not joining them, be the is the party pooper for this one, and tells them that whatever costume they wear, they will turn into that costume. So that was one
Hmm.
thing, and so their parents decide, but in the end, their costumes were kind of they were dressed up as monsters, so they feel more scary. So that means,
Aw.
yeah, of course, that escalated the stakes. Oh my god. And then, but then, Angelica gets punished by, because she ate candy before going to the amusement park, so she can't do trick or treating. And, I guess she got salty with that. And, as a princess, now Angelica tries to control this by telling them that the curse can be lifted with her help. Since her costume is a princess. Well, and yeah, so the condition is give Angelica all the candy after trick or treating. Classic scheme there, scam on that one, and that leads them to like a haunted house, and then they get lots of candy, and then Angelica lied, of course, and But yeah, and despite that, Angelica takes the bag, but then the parents catch Angelica eating Chucky's candy, and they punish her by not letting her go trick or treating again. And happily ever after. So that was fun. And yeah, Angelica gets her comeuppance once more. She's like their Team Rocket in some way, no?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she's like she always like imposes herself as the older kid. So no matter what you do, you're gonna have to go through her.
Yeah.
um, I guess we're down to our last cartoon. It's another Simpsons episode. It's another Treehouse of Horror. This one is from
Mhm.
Treehouse of Horror 9. It is called Starship Poopers.
Oh, I
Uh,
wonder what movie is that based
okay.
on.
So it's just the title, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Um, the Simpsons are living their everyday lives when all of a sudden Maggie Simpson disposes of her little what do you call that thing in her mouth? Like a
Retainers?
retainer of sorts, yeah. And then
Uh-huh.
turns out she gets spiked teeth, and then she grows tentacles under her legs. And then
Mm-hmm.
Homer realizes that he's not the father, and it turns out Kang and Kodos, the green monsters that you will see on the cover of this episode. Kodos is actually the father of Maggie Simpson, not Homer. So
What?
Maggie is half alien.
Oh
Tapos yung
God.
best part for me sa episode na to, Homer wants to find out if he's the dad or not.
Oh
Tapos
no.
like Jerry Springer sila, putang ina.
Oh God. Jerry
Sino to?
Springer is
Bet ko
like
nakita mo na to.
paternity
Have you
test
sorry?
sports entertainment.
Yes,
Jerry
exactly. It's
Springer is
sports
basically sports
entertainment.
entertainment.
tapos, tapos si Kodos nag-appear sa Jerry. So ano 'di ba? Si Homer nakaupo na siya sa chair sa Jerry Springer show.
Mm-hmm.
Biglang, and here's the dad, Kodos. Tapos in typical Jerry Springer fashion, a brawl breaks out.
Oh
Nagsuntukan
God.
si Homer siya si Kodos.
Classic Jerry Springer right there.
Classic Jerry Springer sobra. Like, I don't know what else to say or to describe it. Sobrang saya ng episode na yun. It was The Simpsons at its peak in the late 90s and early 2000s na sobrang they had magic. Like right after Conan O'Brien left for late night and then they got this new crew of writers. Sobrang galing nila nung sa Treehouse of Horror. As in, like Jude mentioned earlier, if there's any Halloween cartoon you should watch during Halloween, Treehouse of Horror, all of it. Mag-marathon kayo, have fun. Hopefully dumating na yung Disney Plus so everybody can just stream it through there. Kasi feeling
Mhm.
ko The Simpsons is one of those shows that everybody has been longing for streaming. Kasi ang tagal na. Sobrang tagal na ng show. Everybody's gonna watch it for sure, no matter what. And the Halloween episodes, I guess, in summary, are just fun.
Yeah,
Talagang it's a
I think
way
it's
for
it's
yeah.
one of those times where showrunners, writers just get like an opportunity to just try and make a spooky story, make it work and sell it, and usually they really do. Like I don't, you hardly see a bad Halloween episode. So, or Halloween episodes are just lighthearted fun and sometimes scary. So that's really cool. But in the end, Halloween episodes are just exciting and it's always a fun show. You really don't know what's gonna happen. It's a mixed bag, and multiple shows have Halloween specials for the longest time, and every year you don't know what to expect. So yeah, it's just wholesome fun, and yeah, Halloween episodes are just like yeah, great way to enjoy your Halloween. Apart from having like sweets or yeah, sweets or food, or just celebrate, or
Yep.
just chilling, or watching horror movies.
That's
great way
true.
to watch. Great fun to watch after horror movie too. So that's really
That's
cool.
right.
But
All
yeah,
right. So you can visit us for more geeky articles at
oh
thegeekyones.com.
yeah,
You can check out Jude's article.
yep. Best horror games of the '90s. So next week we're gonna talk about best horror games of the 2000s, and eventually the
Nice.
week after that we have the 2010s. Of course, I'm not gonna put the 2020s yet because we haven't finished this freaking decade. So now, but yeah, I have that's like a weekly series of that. And if you also just watch Squid Game, we also have a suggestion of shows to watch after watching Squid Game, which is really cool.
That's right. That's right.
Got high stakes competitions where people die. So that's what.
That's right. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube at the Geeky Juans. That's the GEEKYUANS. Our podcast is available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other platforms. You can find Jude at Dude It's Jude on Facebook, which is his
Yeah.
video game streaming channel.
Yep. I'm checking if I could. I'll be announcing if I will be streaming this upcoming week.
Nice,
However,
nice,
I'm thinking of another Borderlands stream, or there's a nice little surprise game I'll be popping up after getting it with it by this weekend. So yeah.
nice. And then I am Stevie Said Yup on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I just rant about hockey. Saying hi, by the way, to Paul Briggs, who says favorite, three green hearts. Carl Lorenzo says the Simpsons are too over the top, my bros. Well, it is we respect your opinion. I mean, everybody has their opinion on the newer Simpsons. Not these days, it happens.
But yeah,
Anyway,
to be fair, Simpsons are like yeah, the Simpsons are just yeah they always do over the top, especially right now because their budget is like set and it's pretty expensive. Simpsons is pretty expensive to produce, so yeah, they just go all out and they basically plan out different stuff and make sure that it's enjoyable as hell. And
hmm,
yeah, they just drop a lot of pop culture references almost every freaking time, and it's
that's
crazy.
true. That is true.
I mean,
I do, but
it's a 30-year old series now at this point,
that's
but
true. I mean, I
still,
did just waiting for it to end.
yeah, you're wondering how it would end. Eventually, it's always a mystery because you won't really know how to end it properly, especially with a series that has spanned like 3 decades.
Yeah.
Well, four
Oh
different
well.
decades. It started in the 80s. It was in the 90s and 2000s, which had its strong peak. It was throughout the 2010s. It still existed. Um, eventually, oh, eventually, yeah. Um, yeah.
That's
It reached
about
the
it.
2020s. So yeah, it's four. It's like 80s, 90s. It's on its like
Five
fifth
decades,
decade.
man.
Fifth
All
decade.
right. So that is it for this episode of the Geeky Juans Halloween horror episodes.
Yeah.
Oh
Next
yeah,
is
don't forget
episode
follow.
94.
Yeah, this is episode 94. Stay tuned. Don't forget to follow Hills PH on Instagram. That's Abel,
Oh
our friend
yeah.
Abel Anselmo's clothing brand. All right,
Yeah, I
that's
just got
about
a
it.
shirt from them, and that's really awesome.
Yes,
And yeah, that's it. Episode 93. We're like seven more to like 100, which is getting
that's
close and
true. That's
close.
true.
We have a lot. We have some year ender stuff. We have some. We have another Halloween themed episode for you guys in store next week, and
That's
that's
right.
fun.
All right. So that is it for the Geeky Ones. I am Steven. Next to me is Jude. We will see you next time. Bye bye.
Okay.